Has capitalism failed, and what could we replace it with? You can't fail unless you start. Capitalism never started. I mean, I won't run through the history of the United States, but take Adam Smith, who I quoted before. He had recommendations for the United States. He was kind of like what we would call an orthodox economist. He said the United States, he advised the United States to use its comparative advantage. Term came later, but that's what he suggested. We should, this is back in the 18th century, we should produce, crops, fish, fur, and so on, and we should use superior British goods. Any economist can explain to you that that's the right thing to do. We should pursue our comparative advantage, and he said we should be careful not to try to monopolize any resources. Okay, again, go to your favorite economics department and I'll tell you that's exactly the right thing to do. Well, if the United States had followed those principles, yeah, the scattered population here would be exporting fish and fur. Well, what happened instead is that Alexander Hamilton, who kind of ran the economy, radically violated economic theory. He imposed extremely high tariffs to keep out superior British goods. Therefore, we could start a textile industry with all the, what flows out of that. Later, a steel industry, keep out superior British steel, and so on. And that went on until the mid-20th century. At that point, the United States was so far ahead of everyone else that it was happy to have, free trade on a level playing field, but not really free trade, because the government is up to its neck in creating high-tech industry. The reason you have the internet and computers and all that stuff is because of places like where I work, under Pentagon contracts. That's where they developed the economy of the future. And Britain had done the same thing, and in fact every developed country has done that. The only countries that have followed the rules are the ones what we call the third world. They had them rammed down their throat. So capitalism's never been started, so it can't have failed. I mean, whatever. And in fact, what we now have, has it failed? I mean, take the financial crisis. Didn't fail for the banks, didn't fail for Goldman Sachs. In fact, as I said, they're better off than they were before. It failed for everybody else, but okay, that's a different problem. And what should we replace it with? Well, replace it with a free society, which means that it should be a democratic society in which there's control over all institutions by the people involved in them. The workplace, communities, and so on. That's an alternative.